The other day, I was doing some journaling and I was actually having a conversation with my girlfriend. And, you know, I was spending some time reflecting, and I have, in past episodes, we have talked about the queen of people pleasing. I'm a reformed people pleaser. That's what we talk about. But I think one of the biggest things I've noticed from that, and I wonder if you guys have felt this, the people I surround myself with has changed. The more I released and acknowledged when I was trying to people please or their opinions of me mattered, the more I became disconnected from certain people. And the more I decided I want to be surrounding myself with that type of person. I don't need to surround myself with this type of person. And, and some of that type of person is even family members.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Have you noticed yourself doing that type of thing and realizing the change you feel in your body and everything?
You know, what's really interesting is you were talking about this. I couldn't help but think about how I had some type of similar conversation with my kiddo when she was younger, like much younger, about who you hang out with is who you're
Yeah.
going to become,
It's so
and
true.
it is so true, eh? And it's like, um, yeah, like I mean, that was good lessons to apply then, but I didn't really think about who I was hanging out with or who I was, like it was sort of like, oh, well, it's going to apply to you because right
Yeah.
now it matters as to who you're going to hang out with. So that's really, yeah, it's really interesting. But you're right. I mean, who you hang out with and who you surround yourself with is definitely going to define a lot of things about how you respond to things, how you feel about things, because there's all of this input, and you can say what you want. Like you take that input, you analyze it, you reject some of it, you accept some of it, depending on the circumstances. It's like, well, I think this might be important that I should really consider this, even
Mhm.
if there's kind of that niggly feeling of, I should probably toss that. But yeah, I think it really does have a profound effect on
And I
us.
think right now for this age group too, because you could go down the complain, aches, pains, which I'm not like, I'm saying we've got them or you have them or you've had, I know quite a few people that had injuries when they were younger that is just very painful now and things like that. But it's the outlook, or you could
Yeah.
go the other side where I'm going to do as much as I can, whatever that is. It doesn't necessarily mean physically to have an enjoyable life as I age out, kind of thing.
Mhm.
And I think if you surround yourself with people that are just looking at the downside, I don't think it's healthy.
Mm-mm. Yeah.
And it's so funny because I have a friend. She has been my friend for over 30 years. And she has helped me through some of the hardest times of my life. I mean, I remember spending hours on the phone crying with her when I've gone through certain things. And about 5 years ago, she went through a very difficult time. And I was there and the whole thing. And she's come through it and the other things. And we always talked every single day, but she's never come out of the complaining part of it. Like she's never removed the complaining part. And where I have worked on the other end of it. And I find when I'm on the phone with her, I get pulled down into that complaining things.
Mhm.
Like something simple. My partner, he might do something that's annoying. But in my mind, because I'll look at it and say, is it annoying enough to have a discussion, or is it just annoying to you for that second? We all do annoying things. You know what I'm talking about.
Really?
But then, yeah. But then if I'm in that conversation with her and I just like, it goes down this rabbit hole into the, well, see, all men are alike. They just don't, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, and I hang up the phone and I'm like, I don't feel good. Like I physically just feel blah, to the point where now I have discussions with her. I have her on a weekly call because I love her. I do love her. And I do have conversations with her like, hey, let's look at the brighter side of things. Let's get into this. And it just is that they're in there. So I like now find myself gravitating to people that are upbeat, and we all have problems. We have to talk about them. I have no problem talking about them. I will talk about them to help you find a solution, but not to vent it, not to gripe about it.
I agree.
Yeah.
Definition of coaching.
Well, yeah.
Did you say definition of closure?
Coaching.
Coaching.
Oh, coaching. I think my ears are missing today. Well, I had a girlfriend that kept trying to come back into my life, and she was a high school friend. And I just remember how not healthy of a relationship it was with her then. There was a lot of people pleasing going on my side. There was a lot of, validation from what she said and things like that. And I went, I can't. And she's tried quite a few times throughout the years. And lovely person, I'm sure, because I don't know her anymore. But I just went, I don't want that type of energy being like, I'm working really hard not to people please and have someone else validate my thoughts and opinions. So yeah, I kept her out.
And there's another thing that I want to bring up also. Sometimes we have a feeling or we want something, but we're surrounded with not the right people, and we don't like, they're like, oh, I want to be surrounded with that person, but they might be more advanced. They might not allow me, and we think that we don't belong there.
Mm-hmm.
We need to feel, as women, we belong in all rooms.
Mm.
And I don't think, myself included at times, have felt that. But now it's like, why the hell don't I belong in that room? That person has nothing different. I don't care if they're richer than me, they're more successful than me, they're whatever. At some point in life, they were me. And the only way I'm going to be able to be like, if they have a quality or a trait or a skill I want, is to be with that person. And I don't think we give ourselves permissions. I think sometimes we hold ourselves back because we don't think we belong there. And
My daughter,
yeah, go ahead. No, go
I was
ahead.
just say my daughter noticed something in one of her art classes, and that the women always, it was very gender obvious. Mm-hmm. The women always deferred to the instructor and waited till they had the right credentials, all of this stuff. The men just went in, did it. If it was done wrong, they deal with the instructor after the fact. And she said it was really amazing how they just went in and they just went, we belong in this room. We're going to do what we got to do. Oh, oops, made a mistake. Help me out. Where the women went, oh, can you show me in order for me to do? And she said it's just crazy that it was so noticeable because all the men did it this way and all the women did it this way. They asked permission to be in the room. The men just went into the room as if we belong here, and if we make mistakes, we'll figure it out. And I said, take on that type of attitude, man.
And I give her kudos for bringing
Yeah.
it up, like
And it became
noticing
a
it.
big discussion in her class, and because
Huh.
that's what they do, right? They're going to discuss it all. But yeah,
That's really interesting. I just finished reading a book on imposter syndrome, and
okay.
it talks about that exact thing, about how men own the space that they reside in, regardless of where that space is, have no quandary about making mistakes or BSing their way through the situation, whereas women do not want to play that game because it's way too risky.
Yeah.
Risk of rejection, risk of non-approval, risk of being thrown out. I mean,
Risk of
not
not being,
literally thrown out, but being
well, yeah,
ostracized,
Yeah.
right? And it goes right back to the way, our tribal days, in terms
yep.
of that's how people survived in their clans, like literally.
And
And
women
that,
don't want to do the mistake in front of people because
right.
it seems to be held. Oh, well, remember when Tracy did that? Where Johnny over here, it's like, it's just whatever. And
Whatever.
we
Yeah.
we hold on to it, and
Yeah.
our peers hold on to it.
Yeah.
That whole thing of perfectionism, we have to be perfect. We like when we go online, it has to be, there's all that whole
Mm.
facade of perfectionism. And perfectionism is just that, it's a facade. Yeah, you might get everything right all the time, but you'll never get everything right every single time. Or you'll never grow. You'll just stay this mediocre little person through life. You won't experience what you're supposed to be experiencing. And I find that um, I gravitate and wish to surround myself and watch things that are more in a positive, inclusive, um, learning aspect than in a negative, complaining aspect. I just will. Sometimes I have friends that need to vent and will vent, and she'll vent or they'll vent. And that's okay because I think everyone needs to get something off their chest. It's how long you stay in that mode. If you give them 5 minutes to vent and it's done and over with, okay, I feel better. Life goes on. Let's go. What are we going to do now? You know?
And in my daughter's situation, she was surrounded with people that they all discussed it, and it became like, it wasn't like, oh, I'm feeling this way. It was like they all
Yep.
talked about it. And yeah, surround yourself with people that, I don't want to say like-minded because that becomes something
No,
different.
no, no,
I
no,
just
no,
mean
no.
same energy and that openness and all
Yes.
that stuff.
Yes. I like the fact some of my close friends are as we have nothing in common. Nothing in common. We have the same beliefs, mean morals, respect, like those core morals and core values is what I'm looking for, the word. But thought processes, how we dress and look, and no offense, if you look at the three of us, we're very three different people,
Mhm.
you know. So everyone can coexist.
Kudos to your kid, though, for even
Yeah,
witnessing that and recognizing what was going
Mhm.
on. Yeah.
A
yeah,
different generation, eh?
Mhm.
yeah. And for them to sit and have a conversation about
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Mhm.
That's like, yes,
Yeah,
like,
super powerful. That's great.
so viewer, who do you surround yourself with? Have you made any shifts? Have you wanted to make shifts and don't know how to? Put it down in the comments. Share this with somebody that you think needs to hear this. Make sure you give us a like and hit notifications and subscribe. And until next time.
Thanks for watching, and we hope to see you as a regular member of our community.